Okay. Good evening. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, sir.
For the response.
Yes po.
So that means I am communicating. Now, so last time we talked about technology mediated communication, the importance or the significance of technology as a form of communication. And we mentioned that technology in any way or in any form it's significant because it made communication more efficient, more effective, more convenient, or even more accessible, right? So, sabi nga natin, we are now on the digital era. We are now on the age wherein we communicate not only through face-to-face or not only through mass, but we communicate through digital technologies. So we are now on the digital communication era. So gone were the days of communicating via the mass media. Okay, although they are still existing at present, but we have already. I mean, it has evolved into a newer version of communication, and that is digital communication or the technology mediated communication. Okay, and we mentioned also that technologies are important because it made basically the communication process and even our life more convenient and more accessible. Okay, so sometimes because of but of course sometimes there are those people who are actually misusing or they are not using technology in the right or in the correct way, but rather there are those who are actually abusing the power of technology as a medium for communication. Okay, that is very evident in the social media platform, on cellular phones or text messages or even on chat messages, right? So this afternoon we'll be discussing about the unethical behavior on the use of technology. Ma'am Ann, patanggal ng ating charger. Palagay na lang sa table ko, ma'am. Okay. So, we'll be discussing about the unethical behavior on the use of technology-mediated communication. Now, if we talk about unethical behavior, that means to say that it's the wrong use, okay, or the wrongly use, or the incorrect use, or simply the misuse of technology as a form of mediated communication. So, according to Shatter G 2005, unethical usage of information technology, as this is the violation of the privacy, property, accuracy, and access of an individual or an organization by another individual or organization. So simply, if we talk about, yes, Gerald,
Sir, hindi po ata kita yung pine-present niyo.
ano po?
Yung pine-present po. Hindi
Hindi
kita.
nakikita?
Yes po, sir.
Hala, so dami ko
Late
nang Ayan, wala pa din?
Okay
Meron
na
na po.
po.
Oh,
Okay na
ayan.
po.
Diyos ko. Now, if we're talking about unethical use of communication or technology in communication, simply we are actually violating the privacy, confidentiality, anonymity, reputation, dignity, okay, of a person or an organization. You call that one as unethical use of technology. So ibig sabihin, if you are using the technology to destroy a human being or an individual, or you are actually using technology to degrade the reputation of the person, which may result into low self-esteem, low self-confidence, or the destruction of his personality as a human being, you call that one as unethical usage of communication. Okay? So, or simply unethical usage of information technology means you are actually violating the privacy, anonymity, confidentiality, personality of a person or an individual. Okay, so we'll be talking about the different unethical behavior. One is coercive o yung tinatawag nating coercion. Okay? So, can you read what coercive is? Coercion as an unethical behavior. Can you read? Or Julio?
Acts are communication events or behavior reflecting abuses of power or authority, resulting in unjustified invasion of autonomy, intolerance of dissent, restrictions on freedom of speech, refusal to listen, resorting to formal rules and regulation to stifle discussions or squash complaints, and so on.
Okay, so coercion. Pag sinasabi natin coercion, meaning it is a form of intimidating, repressing, or threatening a person. Okay? So, in order to stifle discussion or squash complaints. So, meaning, if we talk about coercion, that means that there is this abuse of power or there is this occurrence of the abuse of authority coming from an individual or coming from a person. Okay? So meaning tinitreaten mo, pinagbabantaan mo. Okay? Nagbabantaan mo yung isang tao. Okay? So threatening is already a form of showing abuse of power or abuse of authority of the person. Okay, for example, threaten mo siya, uh, pinagbantaan mo siya kasi yung message niya or yung information na nalaman mo or whatever, it's something that is something na ayaw mo. So what you do, what do you do is to threaten that person. Okay? That is coercion or intimidating that person. So actually, coercion is simply inflicting this power of authority, okay, or abusing your power of authority or showing superiority to other person. Okay, that is coercion. So you are restricting the freedom of speech of a person. You are refusing to listen to that person, which results into stifling discussion or squashing complaints and so on. So that's coercion. We are intimidating or we are threatening the person. So another unethical behavior, which is very rampant in the use of technology, is of course destructive communicative behavior. Or what do you mean by destructive behavior? Kind of read. Sir, di daw po nakikita yung nakapresent. Sir. Yes, Alexander.
Sir, ako na po magbasa.
Yes.
Destructive, aggressive, abusive, insensitive. Acts are communication events or behavior attacking receivers, self-esteem, reputation, or deeply held feelings, reflecting indifference toward or contempt for basic values of others. This includes insult, derogatory, innuendos, epithets, jokes, especially those based on gender, race, sex, religion, or ethnicity, put-downs, backstabbing, charac- character assassination, and so on. It also includes the use of truth as weapon, as revealing confidential information to an authorized person or in using allied openness as a facade to
Facade.
facade to conceal
Facade.
to conceal the launching of personal attacks. It also can include silence, failure to provide expected feedback, especially recognition of good work.
Okay. So another unethical behavior in technology-mediated communication is the destructive behavior of communicators. Now, if we talk about destructive behavior is so broad and it's so complex, but let us try to understand it in a more specific manner. So if we talk about destructive, simply if you say destructive, meaning the purpose here of the person is to destroy the reputation of one's person by attacking his self-esteem, attacking his feelings, attacking his emotion through the use of words or messages or jokes which are derogatory, okay? Derogatory on the part of the receiver. So ibig sabihin ng destructive, ito yung mga paninira, okay? Sinisira natin yung reputation ng isang tao. We are actually destroying the the reputation or the image of a person by simply by putting him down, by assassinating his character, backstabbing him, okay, or simply putting him down, assassinating the character, or by using jokes in messages which are not acceptable or which are derogatory on the part of that person. Yung nakakababa ng moral ng tao. Yung nakakababa ng moral, nakakababa ng kanyang self-esteem, especially if the jokes talks about gender, talks about race, talks about sex, talks about religion, or the ethnicity of the person where he belongs. Okay? So that is destructive. A distraction is simply you are being insensitive towards the feelings of others. You are very aggressive of using words, aggressive of using messages which may inflict pain or which may result into derogatory remarks as regards a person. Okay? So that's destructive. Sa madaling salita, sinisira natin yung ating kapwa sa paggamit natin ng mga salita na hindi kaaya-aya. Okay? That will result into low self-esteem or it may result into depression as regards the receiver, or it may result into instability, or it may result into an unpeaceful or ununited society. Okay? Another destructive Another is what we call be deceptive. Okay? So another unethical behavior is deceptive. Yes, idioma, can you read?
Deceptive, dishonest, lying, unfair, etc. Acts are communication events or behavior reflecting a willful perversion of truth in order to deceive, cheat, or defraud. This includes evasive or deliberately misleading messages, which in turn includes equivocation, i.e., the deliberate use of ambiguity, using words having more than one sense so as to seem to say one thing but intend another. Also, bureaucratic style euphemisms designed to cover up defects, to conceal embarrassing deeds, or to rectify unpleasant facts. We can note here to the concept of doublespeak.
Okay. So if we're talking about deceptive, meaning deception, okay, panlilin lang, okay, that is deceptive. Or double speak, or simply you are giving dishonest messages or dishonest information that will result into being unfair, lies, or cheating. Okay? Itong deception na to, this is very rampant during the pandemic or even at present, itong deceptive behavior na to. So actually, I know you have experienced that all of a sudden, you receive a text message coming from a person somewhere out there that telling you that you won hundreds or even thousands or even millions of pesos, and yet you are not playing anything. You did not invest anything on those types of games or on those types of applications or whatever. Then all of a sudden, you will receive message telling you, congratulating you that you won millions of pesos. Eh, ikaw naman, gusto mo namang yumaman ka agad. You want to become rich in just a blink of an eye. And then, sinabihan ka that these are the processes, these are the steps that you have to follow in order to get the money, for example. Okay? So, ikaw ay na-deceive. Ikaw ay nalinlang. Okay? Of that information. So, ikaw naman, ginawa mo kung ano yung ipinapagawa sa iyo, then all of a sudden hindi pala totoo. So in simpler sense of the word, if we talk about deception, meaning scam. Okay? We are scammed because of the lies, because of the dishonest information and messages which are being passed on to us by persons or by another individual. Okay? So that's deception. Nalilin lang tayo. So actually, that is not true only in terms of text messages, but it's also true in terms of our social media accounts. So all of a sudden, we'll be able to receive chat messages, okay, about a person, and so on and so forth. Or sometimes it would be over the telephone, or it would be a caller telling you that the mother or the father is in the hospital, that the child who was able to receive the call should have to prepare all the jewelries, okay, the cash on hand of the family, and so on and so forth. And they will meet in a certain place, okay, and so on and so forth. And then at the end of the day, wala naman pala ganong mga situation. Wala naman palang ganoong phenomenon. So at the end, nalinlang ang yung tao, na-deceive yung tao because of those dishonest information and dishonest messages. Okay, actually, that is very rampant, especially not only during the times of pandemic, but even at present. Especially, here comes December, of course, medyo marami na namang mga ngailangan kasi magpapasko, and they're actually using technology as a form to deceive people. That's why, since you are in the field of communication, you are in the field of computer science, so you must be able to you must know how to identify which is factual or which is not fact. So another form of deception is that giving information which are false, information which are not based on truth, information or messages which are not based on evidence. Yung mga impormasyon o mga mensahe na wala namang basehan, yung mga impormasyon o mga mensahe na hindi naman ito hango sa katotohanan or sa mga totoong pangyayari. Okay, that is sometimes nalilin lang tayo sa ganoong mga dishonest doon sa mga ganoong klase ng lies or sa ganoong klase ng mga messages. Okay? So that's deception. Or simply, if we talk about deception, people are easily scammed because of the untruthful and dishonest information and messages coming from another person. Okay, so another type of unethical behavior on the use of technology is what we call intrusive. So pag sinabi natin intrusive, pakikialam. Okay, yes, Loke. Okay na, nakikita mo na yung slide. O, can you read?
Okay na po, sir. Intrusive communication, behavior that is characteristically initiated by message receivers. Example, use of hidden cameras, the tapping of telephones, and the application of computer technologies to the monitoring of employee behavior. In other words, surveillance.
Okay, so intrusive. Perhaps in the term that could be applicable to this intrusive behavior is wiretapping. Okay, so which is punishable by the Philippine law. Okay, so if we talk about intrusive, you are actually intruding, pinanghihimasukan mo yung privacy ng isang tao, yung right to space ng isang tao. Okay, by simply installing cameras, whether it be hidden or surveillance cameras or recording or video devices which are not, in which there is no permission given by that authority or given by that person. That is intrusion. So sa madaling salita, we are actually intruding the person. We are not actually respecting his rights. We're not actually respecting his privacy, his confidentiality, the anonymity. Okay, we just, for example, in a communication, you are actually talking to someone, then all of a sudden it was recorded without your permission. That is an example of intrusion, and which is an unethical behavior in technological communication. So hidden cameras, surveillance cameras are good because they are for security and protection purposes, but they should only be installed. They should only be installed if there is a permission coming from that person. Take note that in the Philippines, aside from the fact that we have the wiretapping law, we also have the Data Privacy Act of 2016, which means that all personal information, all personal or basic information or personal information of a person, that must be voluntarily given to a person. Okay? So hindi natin ito dapat pinipilit na ibigay ang mga personal na impormasyon ng isang tao sa atin without asking them whether they want to give it or not. It must be voluntary. So di ba nga pag nag-research, we are asking permission. We are asking for permission to our respondents, and at the same time, we are asking them that in adherence to the Data Privacy Act of 2016, they will give their information, their personal information for the purpose of research only. Okay? Yan, stealing information. Okay? So that is actually in form of intrusion. So, or simply is telling not only information but even pictures or videos of a person without asking their permission. That is simply a form of intrusion, which is an unethical behavior in technological communication. Okay? So minsan ginagawa natin, kinukuha natin yung larawan ng isang tao sa kanyang social media, tapos bigla nating nilalagyan ng mga sungay-sungay, or pinapairal natin ang pagiging creative natin, ang nilalagyan natin ng kung ano-ano, and then we post it over our social media. That is not only a form of intrusion, but that could also be a form of distraction. That could destroy the life, the reputation of that person. Okay? So, intrusion, pangingialam, tapos sinira pa natin yung buhay ng isang tao because that is an example of a destructive behavior. Okay? So, when you will be when you will be at in your workplace in the future, there would be some surveillance cameras or hidden cameras. Then definitely that must be voluntarily monitored. Okay? So that means to say that it is with consent that you are allowing them that they would get that they would be recording you, the way your movements, etc., etc. That must be with consent, because if not, that is actually intrusion on the privacy of the person. Remember that, of course, it's a fundamental right that we have to respect the privacy of a person. That is a basic, or that is a fundamental right of a human being. So dapat rinerespeto natin yung privacy ng isang tao. Because once we do not respect the privacy of that person, or that right to privacy of that person, that means that we are intruding, or that is a form of intrusion on the life, or on the life of that person. So another unethical behavior is what we call secretive behavior. Yes, Zachary.
Secretive is a various form of nonverbal communication behavior, especially, of course, silence, and including unresponsiveness. Behaviors as hoarding information, culpable silence, and sweeping under the rug information that, if revealed, would expose wrongdoing or ineptness, ineptness on the part of the individuals in position of power.
Okay. So another unethical behavior is what we call secretive behavior. So it says in here, secretive in the negative connotation, like hoarding information or simply culpable silence, and sweeping under the rug of information. Simply, you are not revealing truthful information because you are protecting person in power, or you are protecting person or an individual who holds a position, or who holds an authority. That is secretive. So, for example, you are an eyewitness of a crime, for example, but since the person involved in that crime is a person in authority, that if you reveal the truth, that may be a matter of life and death, okay, life and death of your life and death, and of course the life of your family. So sometimes we prefer culpable silence, right? We prefer to hoard those information. But if that would be the case, then that is what we call secretive unethical behavior. So secretive behavior is simply being silent. Okay? Being silent although you are already an eyewitness of the wrongdoings of a person. Secretive is that be culpable silence although you are already an ear witness of what has happened. Okay? Or secretive meaning you are not your senses malfunction because you don't want because you are hoarding information, or you don't want to air truthful ideas or truthful information. That is secretive. So definitely, if you are an eyewitness, you are an ear witness of things that may happen, then we shouldn't be secretive. We have to reveal it. We should not hoard it. Hindi natin pagtatakpan yung isang tao, yung mali ng isang tao dahil pinoprotektahan natin siya or dahil siya ay someone who is in power. And remember people that if that would be the case, then definitely you are actually concealing the truth. You are actually hiding the truth or you are actually hiding what has really happened. Okay? That's secretive. So wag nating gamitin ang power ng communication para itago natin yung mga totoong pangyayari. So the power of communication must be used to reveal what is truth and nothing but the truth. Okay? Another is the aside from being secretive, another is being manipulative or being exploitative. Okay, can you read what manipulative? Yes, Alexander?
Narinig po, sir.
Yes, oh.
Manipulative represent a cluster of communication behavior that definitely merit our attention. Open influence versus manipulation seeks to gain complaints by exploiting people's fears, prejudices, or area of ignorance, covert and hidden agendas.
Okay. So another is being manipulative or being exploitative. In in at in terms, I mean at present, this manipulative or this exploitative unethical behavior, this is very evident. Okay? This is very evident nowadays. Yung manipulative meaning you are actually controlling or you are actually influencing someone. That is manipulation. Or if we talk about exploitation, meaning you are actually threatening that person. You are actually taking advantage the the weaknesses, the limitations, the prejudices, the ignorance of a person. That exploitation. Meaning, tinitake advantage natin yung kahinaan ng isang tao. Okay? We are inflicting control. We are actually controlling the emotions, the ignorance, the weaknesses of that person. That is manipulative or exploitative. Now, in reality, perhaps the best example of being manipulative or being exploitative is that yung minsan pagbabanta, yan. Minsan yung mga scandals, okay? For example, there would be this you have your ex-boyfriend or especially your ex-boyfriend or ex-lovers mo, mga ganyan. And then you have your scandal. Okay, that is very common nowadays. Mayroong mga scandal, tapos bigla kang naghiwalay. Okay? Then pinagbantaan ka na ilalabas ang scandal na to kapag hindi mo siya minit or hindi mo pa siya binalikan or hindi mo na siya, ayan, that's actually the term blackmailing. Ayan, hindi mo siya binalikan or hindi ka pa nakipag-date or kung hindi mo pa siya pinagbigyan for the last time, something like that. Or worse, sometimes nangingikil ng pera, okay, that you have to give amount of money para lang hindi niya mailabas kung ano yung video or kung ano man yan. And that is what we call manipulation or exploitation. Remember, people, that manipulation or exploitation is a crime. Okay? So once it is proven that you are guilty, then you may be called criminal. Okay? If you have exploited or you are actually, exploitation is simply taking advantage the weaknesses, the ignorance, the limitations of a person. So parang tinitake advantage natin yung kahinaan ng ibang tao. That is exploitation. Thank you, Do. So in response, ito namang taong ito, since ayaw niyang mapahiya, ayaw masira yung kanyang imahe, of course, ibibigay niya kung magkano yung hinihingi mo, okay, ibibigay niya kung ano man yung mga hinihingi mo, etc., etc., para lang hindi para lang ma-freeze or para lang hindi lumabas yung ganong mga issues na pwedeng makasira sa kanya. But at the end of the day, what you are doing is unethical. What you are doing is the incorrect use of technology as a form of communication. Okay? So, siguro wala namang ganun dito, 'di ba? Sa BSCS 13. Wala namang siguro nag-exploit ng ng ibang tao para lang sa mga personal biases or para lang sa mga personal na mga agendas natin. Okay? And don't ever try that. Don't ever try to exploit others. Okay? Because of your personal agenda or because of your personal manipulative reasons. Okay? Again, that is a criminal offense. That is a crime. That is not just a civil case, but that is a crime. You may be incarcerated for years if you are proven guilty by the court. Okay? So, yeah, those are simply unethical behaviors. So we have there uh, deceptive, destructive, secretive, intrusive. We also have manipulative or exploitative. So manipulative or exploitative, tama yung sinabi kanina, blackmailing. Okay? You are actually blackmailing that person. That's manipulative. Ito namang secretive, meaning culpable silence. You don't want to tell the truth because you are protecting someone. Although you know you are already an ear or an eyewitness of a phenomenon, but still you prefer not to say something because you are protecting the power and authority or the person in position. Now, if we talk about intrusive, ito naman yung you are actually intruding or you are actually uh, you are actually disrespecting the privacy of the person by means of wiretapping him, by capturing photos or recording videos or capturing photos or recording videos without his permission. Next, we have destructive or deceptive, meaning you are being dishonest. You are actually telling informations which are not based on facts or which are not based on truth. And we also have this destructive, meaning backstabbing, putting down a person to destroy his reputation or to attack his self-esteem, his reputation, his feelings, or his emotions, and simply using derogatory remarks that will result into the destruction of the person. And we also have here what we call coercion. We say coercion meaning you are intimidating or you are threatening the person, you are threatening a person. Okay? You are threatening the person or simply abusing your power to threaten that person. That's coercion. Remember, people, that we are all given the freedom of speech. That is an accepted fact. We have the right to say whatever we want to say because we are gifted with this freedom of speech. But you have to use that freedom of speech in a manner that must uplift the life of another person and not to destroy the life of another. So it says in here, lesson 101, to manipulate some involves a subtle influence on that person's actions, beliefs, desires, feelings, or values, which in turn inhibits rational deliberation. It may involve the falsification or omission of information, or it may involve a play on one's non-rational impulses. So meaning, if we talk about manipulation, we are actually taking advantage on the weaknesses, the limitation, or on the irrationality of the person. So, tinitake advantage natin yung kahinaan ng iba. And if you do that, the one who is doing it, the one who is manipulating, or the one who is exploiting is also considered an irrational being. Sabihin ng irrational being, hindi nag-iisip ng matino. Because ang taong nag-iisip ng matino, hindi niya to gagawin. Hindi niya gagawing mag-exploit ng tao para lang sa kanyang personal agenda or para lang sa kanyang personal biases. Remember that according to a philosopher, man is by nature a rational animal. So kapag tayo ay tinatawag tayong rational animal or rational being, meaning to say we are capable of thinking. We are capable of reasoning. We are capable of rationalizing things. We are capable of arriving at a rational decision. So, if you are exploiting, you are manipulating, you are threatening, you are destroying, you are deceiving a person, that means that that is being irrational. That is perversion of the intellect. Pag sinasabi nating perversion of the intellect, meaning hindi natin ginagamit ng matino, hindi natin pinapagana ng maayos ang ating utak because our brain is actually doing the not so right thing, or our brain is doing the wrongful doings and not on the correct or not on the right doings. Okay? So that's why nagiging pervert ang ating intellect. Nagiging pervert ang ating utak. Kasi hindi yan nag-iisip. Ang iniisip niya ay hindi matino yung kanyang iniisip. Rather, you are actually putting your personal agenda first rather than of the agenda of others. And that shouldn't be considered as an ethical behavior. And lesson 101 under technology communication, it says in here, kind of read. Aside from Alexander, may we have Neil.
There is a social responsibility that professional communicators have as part of the global public information systems upon which the general public relies for information to make decisions in their personal lives. Professional communicators should hold ourselves to a standard of responsible communication and refrain from discourse that undermines ethical communication and social order. We are all accountable to communicating responsibly.
Okay. So, lesson 101 under technological communication. Dot number 1, all of us have our social responsibility. Okay? What is our social responsibility? Or may I ask you, what is your social responsibility as regards the use of technology in communication? Yes, Alexander.
Sir, ano po, think before you click po. Like, dapat po, iniisip po natin yung mga gagawin natin about sa mga sa mga social media po para po hindi po tayo katulad nung sinabi niyo po kanina yung about po dun sa ex na parang ikakalat yung di siya lang din po ang mapapasama pag ginawa niya rin po yun.
Okay, so that would be one. Our social responsibility is to maintain the highest standard of our human image, okay, or our image as a person. Sabi nga dyan, paulit-ulit itong sinasabi, think before you click. Think not only 7 times, but you have to think thousands or millions of times before you press any button in your technology or in your computer or even in your cellular phones, because that message may ruin or may destroy not only the reputation, not only the image of a person, but the life of a person. Sabi nga, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Ano man yung sabihin natin, whether it be in the form of technology that may uplift or that may ruin or that may destroy the life of a person. So our social responsibility is that we have to be responsible communicators. We have to create a global village in which there is no anger, there is no hatred, there is no jealousy, there is no prejudices, there is no biases. There are no biases, because if these are eliminated, then we are actually living in a village where peace and unity reside. Okay, that is our one social responsibility. We have to be very responsible communicators in the society by simply thinking, rationalizing on messages, making this arrive at the decisions that would eventually uplift the life and respect the right of a person. Another social responsibility. What else is your social responsibility? Yes, Jerlyn.
To treat other people the way I want to be treated.
Okay, so it seems that that is the golden rule, that do not do unto others what you do not want others do unto you. That's right. So our another social responsibility is that if you want to be respected, then you also have to respect other person. If you want that other person would respect your privacy, would not invade your privacy, then do not do it also. Do not do that also to another, because simply respect begets respect. And how nice to live in a community wherein respect resides on people. Okay, what else? Nagaling naman ng mga to. Yes, Virtudes.
So, for me, sir, I think, yung isa sa social responsibility natin sa paggamit ng technology is yung pagpapalaganap po ng relevant information kasi if not po, parang mas madadagdagan pa yung pagpapalaganap ng false information like imbis na matuto yung ibang tao, mas lalo pa silang, parang, ang tawag din? Mas lalo pa silang,
Malilin lang.
yan, ayan.
Yeah. Okay,
Ayan, sir.
so that's right. So spread good vibes, spread truthful information, honest information, factual information. Actually, ang term na ginagamit ngayon sa ating panahon yung pag fake news, right? Or misinformation. So laganap yan ngayon sa ating mga social media or any technological platform. So dapat we should be responsible people that we have to spread only truthful, factual, honest information rather than spreading misinformation that would result into misinformed or disinformed audience or receivers. Okay, that's right. Loke, you're raising your hand a while ago.
Sir, ano po, respect their privacy but teach them to protect it. Lalo na po kung may mga bata kang kasama, kailangan mo pong mag-provide ng guidance kasi po sa panahon po ngayon, mas madali nang matuto sa mga gadgets, sa social media. Pero po yung mga na-access po nila minsan po, yun po yung bawal. Kaya po kailangan rin pong mag-provide ng guidance lalo na pag bata pa po yung gumagamit.
Okay, so Loke wants to tell us that another social responsibility is that we have to teach the youngsters, we have to teach the children of our generation to responsibly use or to use social media or to use technologies responsibly. So basically, yes, you are computer science students. You have all the knowledge, you have all the might on how to responsibly, on how to use properly our technologies. Do not make yourself a cemetery of those knowledge. Do not make yourself a cemetery of those skills. Those knowledge, those skills must be shared, especially to the children or to the youngsters, so that they will also learn from us. And eventually, they will be able to use social media and our technologies responsibly. And aside from a person has a social responsibility, we also have our professional responsibility in which we are all accountable in communicating messages responsibly. So in the future, you will become professional computer experts. You will be having your own workplace. You will be working in big companies. It is indeed a must that you have to communicate your messages, even the use or the use of communicate your messages with the use of your or technology, the use of your technology responsibly. You must be a responsible communicators of your messages and ideas. Remember that as professional communicators, we have to maintain or we have to be sure that there is a positive atmosphere in our workplace. And that positive atmosphere can only be achieved if people or workers or employees are responsible communicators in spreading truthful and factual information to their colleagues or to their co-employees. So sometimes sa workplace, mahirap magtrabaho kapag ang mga katrabaho mo ay kagalit mo lahat. Mahirap magtrabaho kung ang mga kasama mo sa trabaho ay hindi kayo nagkakaintindihan because you have your own differences, you have your own conflicts, you have your own personal biases. It would be better to live or to work in a workplace wherein there is this use of responsible communication, wherein there is openness between people, so that there would be a positive atmosphere that would bring about harmonious relationship among people. So this purposive communication, that is the very purpose of purposive communication, to teach you, to train you, to become responsible communicators in the workplace. Because CVSU Bacoor is preparing you to become employees, to become bosses, to become leaders in your own field, and as such, you must be able to responsibly communicate your ideas, your messages to your colleagues so that you will be able to create a positive environment or a harmonious environment where people are united because of a common goal, with a one common vision, with a one common agenda or one common objectives. Okay? So, yan ang very core ng ating subject. Okay? To train you to become responsible communicators in the workplace sooner or later. Okay? Kaya baka tinatanong niyo, ano ba itong subject na to, na purposive communication na to? Ano ba itong essence nito? Ang essence nito ay makikita lamang natin yung essence nitong subject na to once we are already in the workplace. Okay? Kaya nga tinawag siyang purposive communication. Meaning, we are communicating it with a purpose, and that is to train you to become better leaders or better employees in the workplace that you will be into in the future. Okay? So with that, any question? People of the Republic. Wala na akong boses. May tanong po ba? None, sir. Okay, so kung wala na, let's call it a day. Okay, may I just do the screenshot of the attendance? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's call it a day and see you again next